Hello.
Hello.
I guess I'm here.
Nick,
Is this a good time for me to open things up?
yeah, that's great. Let's see, I just got a call from David Elliott. He may be joining us for a moment.
See my Ben Sean picture?
We're gonna do this tonight with allergies.
Oh,
Tonight's select board meeting is brought to you by allergies. Hey, David.
Hello, how's everybody tonight?
All right.
Did you get my message and understand?
I did, yes.
Okay, that's why that's the main thing. I'm just double checking anyways.
Is there a deadline on that? I won't get to sign it until early next week.
I normally we meet with the state. It's supposed to be within so many days of the town meeting.
Right.
Normally the state will come around, and the last couple of years they just sent stuff to the select board for the select board to just do it and sign it. Normally the state comes along, talks with you, they'll go over the numbers and help you fill it out, and then sign it and take it back with them. So there is, I don't know if it's how critical it is. I know Megan asked me about it the other day because with our grant for blacktopping and stuff, she said that she needs this before that, which is still plenty of time for that anyway.
Okay.
So I think we're all right. She didn't say, that it's got to be done ASAP. She just said she hadn't seen it yet, and that was one of the things that she was going to need, or the two things she was going to need. But it sounded like that was all she needed. So,
David, could I get your last name just for the minutes?
Elliott, Elliott.
David, this is Nick Morgan, our new select board assistant.
Hello, Nick. Nice to meet you. I'll forget your name. I'll remember you.
Hey. I've met so many people in my life, and I'll always remember the face, but the name.
Yeah, that's how I am. After about 3 or 4 years.
Do you have a title or anything, or?
I'm the road foreman.
Oh, okay.
Marlboro.
You probably know my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I just dawned on me, Morgan. I was trying to think of what Morgans do I know.
Oh.
The one and only.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just Julia, for future, so do I put everybody who's in attendance, unless of course we have like 200 town people? I mean.
You do, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just waiting on Aaron here.
Yep. I feel
minutes.
so cool. I've got myself all set up. I feel like I'm back in New York working at ABC. Oh, here's Tom Raffensperger.
Right. He's for the Green River Marathon.
Eh. It's nice that this is recorded, so if I miss something, I can always go back and listen.
Yeah. It's a pretty light agenda too, so it's a good
Well,
introduction.
good way for me to get up to speed, because like, you know, May, there's no other things to do, so I'm just learning the ins and outs.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Got a good background there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my backyard up here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it looks like you're in Colorado or something.
No, just Leiden, Massachusetts here.
Okay.
We're just waiting a minute or two to get started here. Well, we don't need Aaron, but it'd be great to have him.
Hey, Jim, is that Isaiah Wynn up there behind you? You got a Patriots player on the
Yeah.
wall behind you.
I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think that's
keep
good.
track of them. That's an old calendar, but
Go Giants.
maybe. Maybe.
I was just running up along Cowpath 40 and Houghton Road up there. When was it? Sunday, I think. The roads seem to be in pretty good shape now.
Here comes Aaron.
Excellent. Hey, Aaron.
Hi, Julia.
Hey.
How's
How you
everybody doing?
All right. Okay, is everybody ready to get started? I'll call the meeting to order at 4:59 on my clock at least.
Yep, that's what I got.
All right, any changes to the agenda? I know, David, you wanted to speak. We can do that during unscheduled public comment.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't look at the agenda, so I was pretty sure I wasn't on it.
You are not, but you can be now.
No. You want me to do that now?
Yeah.
The main thing, like I said, I just wanted you to be aware. You know, I saw you outside of the road there one day when I met with Megan and the state stuff on looking at our project and just trying to make sure that we got our paperwork and stuff completed. So I checked with her on what I've done and what we've got, and I believe it's correct. And she just said that you know, if we get it signed and back to her. She said you don't need to mail it. You can email it or scan it, whichever works best for you.
Okay.
And so that was just the main thing. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I didn't get slipped through the cracks and not get our paperwork done. So then we couldn't do our blacktopping and stuff. So
Sure. So for Nick in the minutes, the paperwork is for what exactly?
it's annual financial plan for town highways.
Okay.
And then there's another paper that states that we're meeting all our standards and that our standards meet or are as good as or meet or beat the state standards. And ours actually, for new select board members and people that haven't heard it before, ours beat their standards. The state standards that they have for highways only calls for I think it's either 3 or 4 inches of crushed gravel, and our standards call for 6 inches of crushed gravel for our topping. And so, other than that, ours is exactly the same. But by having that in our standards, when we do a FEMA event, FEMA only pays for what your standards are. So they'll pay for the full 6 inches we put down with us. But, if you don't have it and you just adopt the states, you still could put more if you want. But then if you have an event, that's all that they'll pay for is what's in your standards. So right now, that's the only difference that we have is we have more crust for topping our roads than what the state calls for.
Okay.
And who's the paperwork get delivered to, if you don't mind?
District 2 AOT. It's Megan Brunk is for the Agency of Transportation for our District 2 state.
Got it.
Aaron, I can't remember if you ever went to one of those meetings. Maybe not because of COVID, but it used to be right after town meeting, we would meet with her.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so this is just the paperwork version because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
It's really based on our class 2 and 3 roads. So the state has our class 2 roads are 14.95 miles of class 2, and our class 3 are 39.73 miles. And then they've got changes year to year on the dollar amount. So Megan sent me the link to double check. So the state gives us, it comes out to about 120 something thousand, 63,371 for a class 2 and 62,533. I gotta put my glasses on now. Yeah, 533 for our class 3 roads. So we get about 126,000 from the state, and that's how they figure what the state gives us that goes towards ours. Then you put in what we appropriate at town meeting, and that becomes what our financial stuff is for highways. The stuff that gets, so we had the 380,000 voted in at town meeting. So altogether this year, I don't have the right one in front of me, but it was like 506,000 and change is what we'll have to spend toward roads this year.
Great. All right. So I will go into the town office and sign that early next week. And Nick, I'll probably ask if you could email that or mail it back to them. That'd be great. That's not something we usually vote on, right? We just sign it. when we meet with
Yeah,
them.
well, like I said, normally we meet with them and they go over the numbers and let us know what the mileage is, because a lot of times it's right after town meeting, so sometimes we have a new select board member, so it was always good for them to be able to explain it a little bit better than I'm doing, I'm sure. And but it's just the state needs to know that we have the funding there to be able to maintain the roads and keep them open, summer and winter. And then what I didn't say, so then it shows the breakdown of it. So we take 55% of our funding goes toward winter maintenance roads. So our plowing, sanding, and that, and the non-winter maintenance is 45% of that.
Mhm.
It equals up to 100% of it, but that was just a breakdown on what you spend on winter roads compared to summer roads. Because like I said, they want to make sure that, cars can drive on our roads in the winter time, and that we have the funding there available to make it so they can.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that?
Did you have any money left over from last year?
Did we have money left over from last? I actually honestly don't know. I hadn't checked with Linda. A lot of times at the end of the year, I'll check with her to see how we're doing with what we have for stuff. I haven't gotten any notes from the office, so I'm assuming that we probably did. Anything that's left over gets rolled back into the general fund. And then we start off fresh with what we have, unless it's been earmarked for something like bridges or blacktop or something that we had already set aside for something specific.
Well, I'm one of those new selectmen you're talking about, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking.
No, it's good, and that's normally what happens. So normally you don't carry money over. We do carry the equipment account over, but that had to be voted on at town meeting in order to be able to do that. And that's why we don't have to guess at what we're going to have for breakdowns. we have the equipment account where the town pays the equipment, and then the equipment, when it breaks, pays, pays for the repairs.
I understand.
I can double check with Linda and find out exactly, where we stand. Like I said, normally if it gets tight, she'll normally ask me if we have a lot of expenditures that are coming in because it is getting tight, and I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming we aren't in too bad a shape. But and anything as of the January 1st goes on to this. It's a new year for this year's budget, so we'll work from January 1st to town meeting time. Or till tax time, on this, what we voted in at town meeting.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on that? Nope. Hi, Stephen. Are you here for public comment? You-
I gotta unmute myself here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just, wanted to stay in touch regarding the DV Fiber group of towns. And, we're part of that. We're one of the founding towns. So I just wanted to report back to you. We had our annual meeting as required by law, the second Tuesday of every May, in case you're curious. And normally we meet on the third Wednesday of every month as a board, governing board. And right now we're having a heck of a lot of committee meetings and small negotiation sessions, small group negotiation sessions with our prospective partners or vendors that were, we put out an RFP. And so we're really determined to make a decision regarding our partners to get this thing built and operated and run within the month. It really depends a little bit upon the legislature and how much money they're coming forward with grants to the CUDs, because any money that we don't pay interest on is very advantageous to our bargaining position and enables us to hold down borrowing costs and therefore keep the service charged, eventually with customers getting hooked up to be controllable and be accessible to everybody. But I think after that, well, I just mentioned that I appreciate your appointment of Fred Kopax, Gene Boardman, and reappointment of Bob Anderson. Fred is a tremendous asset to our vendor committee regarding contract matters, and Gene has been very dedicated to attending all meetings and any committees that she can get to. So I appreciate that support. It can be a lonely situation for some of the other reps in other towns, but I appreciate your support and this really dedicated group of alternate reps that you've appointed. So thanks so much. Any questions?
Could I get this is Nick, I'm the new assistant and I
Yeah,
type
it's nice to see
slowly. What's the name of the group?
It's called we are officially the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District. That's our legal municipal entity. It's a unique.
Is this for fiber optics?
Yes, yeah. It's a new municipal entity established by municipal corporation. It's called, established by enabled by legislation from Vermont, and it's only possible in Vermont because we like to solve things more effectively than a lot of other places. So any towns could join after the first 5. We have 23 towns now. I don't expect we'll get too many more because there aren't too many more left. The ones that are left are served by VTEL through fiber already up Grafton Way and Rockingham and Saxons River. Brookline might join, but that's about it. There's another name for us though, Nick, in the news, and our business operations name is DV Fiber.
DV Fiber?
DV as in Victor Fiber.
Got it.
And then there's a website called dvfiber.net, and that's where all the towns are listed, officers, minutes, agenda, meetings, and all that.
I just wanted to make sure I have something in the minutes about you.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Any questions? from the board?
Stephen, it sounded like there was some funds, one-time funds possibly coming from
Yes.
the
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, if you are curious, well, specifically, we've already financed paid for three towns to have their poll studies that are underserved, like Marlboro, but we didn't have enough money to get around to Marlboro. And that was on last year's COVID relief money. And then at the 31st, it was supposed to be spent. So they just put a hard close on that, but the money remains in the state's hands. And this administration just released that money so that the Public Service Department issued an RFP just yesterday. And we've already submitted just the day before an application for $147,000 that would pay for some initial, at least design work. But primarily it's for our consulting service and our lawyer legal services to contract, this is a big decision to contract with a private partner to make this partnership workable and make it a win-win situation, and make sure that we as the public entity are not being taken advantage of, or that this grant money that we might in the offing, which is quite substantial. The governor's proposal was allotting 24 million to this CUD, to our 23 towns, based on our unserved and underserved locations. So it's quite a bit of money, and we are certainly want to make sure this money just doesn't go to pad the the investors, the
Right.
private company and their stockholders, because of course we expect them to make a profit off of any work they do for us, but we want to make sure that we're in
Well-
control of the costs for the initial construction, but also I'm really concerned about long range. If you make a deal with some company, any cable company or whatever, there's a deal that the price is really low initially, and then what the heck happens? It just,
Yeah.
so we're not a profit organization, so we should be able to hold the costs and hold the monthly fees, to a much lower and more competitive rate than the local providers or the incumbent providers, Comcast, CCI, and so forth. However, I can't really say anything about negotiations, but certainly, there are some big companies that are quite capable that are bidding for our work, this opportunity. Anything else? I'm open. Any questions this time? Have at it, guys. Julia. All right. Well,
I
we're gonna
guess
get done. Jim?
Yes. When do you think we can actually have, this service to where we can actually use it?
Yeah, that's
know it's not
on
your
everybody's mind. I will once again say that it really depends upon the financing and on the money. It's easy to talk and predict and promise, but if you don't have the money and you don't have a contractually binding agreement, we certainly would hope to end up with an agreement that has some incentives and disincentives for meeting the timeline, meeting the promise of when you're going to build out. Now, if you really want the bad news, the worst news is that the Wyndham Regional Commission had consultant team write a business plan for us that ended up including the whole county, it was 7 to 10 years to complete connection with everybody. Now, we're trying to focus on the least served, the underserved first. And that, of course, is the least attractive to the private sector because they're not going to make money on it. So that's why the grant money from the federal government through the state and so forth is so important. And so critical to that timeline of when especially the unserved and underserved are going to get connected, because CCI is building, they're installing and already offering fiber connection in Brattleboro, competing with Comcast. Well, why the heck are they building there and not here? Well, because we only got 5 miles per five residents per mile, and they've got hundreds per mile down there. So That's the way the free market works. I understand that. It's good, but we've got to figure out how we can get to the people that need it throughout Vermont. And that's why the legislature has passed this, enacted this law to make CUDs possible. But also the question now is, I just wrote this in an email to somebody, well, are they going to come up with the money to support the implementation and the actual work? The short term, we won't get here in Marlboro inside of a year, that's for sure, Jim. But, I would think the question is 2 or 3 years. If you're asking me confidentially what the real thing is, it could be that we could complete the whole project throughout all 23 towns in 5 years. But in terms of our plans and priorities, Marlboro is one of the high priority towns because of our location and our poor service. Works to our advantage.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any others? Well, I won't take more of your time. I just appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Hope you didn't mind I popped in today just because I got inspired and thought this is a good time to let you know and give you a chance to ask some questions. I'll get back to you when we actually have a contract or we have, specific timeline, about what we can anticipate and also clearer idea about the funding streams. So thanks.
More.
Thank you, Stephen.
We'll keep working at it. We're going to get it done.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right. Next is approval of minutes from April 22nd. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 22nd.
I second that.
Any discussion? David?
Not to interrupt, are you all done with me? Because I got other stuff that I've got to go do, so. Good enough. Thank you very much and have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Take care, Dave.
All right, any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor say aye
Aye.
and approved.
Just to let you know, Julia, you're pretty low. Maybe it's just my computer, but
My
I can
volume,
yeah.
I can try and speak up.
Oh,
Okay. Signature of pay orders. I signed those this morning, but I'll make a motion to sign the pay orders.
second that motion.
There's
Pay orders for,
it's just generally for the town.
oh, I
Generally,
don't write anything.
You can just say pay orders.
Okay.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, signature of 2 driveway departments. One for temporary access logging off of Ames Hill. That's right across from me, actually, near Turnpike. And the other one is on South Road near the Historical Society, where the barn is right on the road. I was expecting some public comment, but I don't see any. Do you guys have, I'll make a motion to approve those.
I second that.
Okay. Any discussion? No.
The ones off of South Road. Where on Ames Hill Road is this other one? Do you know?
Do you know where my house is?
No.
No? Okay.
Isn't it by Cowpath 40 or?
I'm between Cowpath and Turnpike,
Oh, okay.
and it's sort of opposite the road of Turnpike, opposite side of the
Oh,
road.
yep.
It's going into South Pond.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So all those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, approved. I will sign those permits later. New business, we have the Tom Raffensperger from the Green River Marathon. And just so you all know, Tom, did you guys have actually held this before, or you guys got canceled because of COVID? Can you remind me? Tom, are you there? Maybe Tom.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I cut off my video to make sure my signal is better. So it was kind of funny when I came back in, you were talking about, like, I think broadband internet, and
Yes.
we've just got that in Leiden, but it just went out on me. So I'm standing down the road where I can get cell signal to talk to you. So anyway, yeah, we canceled the marathon last year because of COVID, but we had it the previous 2 years. And the marathon starts at the Marlboro College campus, and goes down Moss Hollow Road to Green River Road, and then down to Greenfield Community College. And so this year we're going to do it on August 20th.
I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Well, in about 3 years, we'll be all set. The internet. That's a mess, though.
Do you have his email? I can write to him and include something in the minutes after I've corresponded with him.
Sure, I can send you that. He might come back too. If I remember correctly, he doesn't really need anything from us. It's just informational. I don't know what his arrangement is with the campus at the moment, but that's ultimately up to him. Let's see if I can find his email.
Hey, sorry about that.
There you are.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what all you heard of what I said.
You got cut
August-
off in August.
Okay, so yeah, 29th of August is when we're gonna have it. And the start is at 7 in the morning, and that means about 5 or 6 school buses coming through Marlboro, and dropping the runners off at the campus, and then heading out. We have people park down in Greenfield, and we use the buses partly to reduce the traffic up in Marlboro, because there's really not, there's not great parking up there, and we just want to reduce the traffic up there. So that's kind of the drill. Again, the start is at 7, and some folks do some cleanup after that, but we're pretty much out of there by 7:30 or 8 in the morning. And that's a Sunday morning. So I'm here to answer any
And do you have
questions or, sorry, what?
I'm sorry. Do you have arrangements with the campus?
Yeah, so I got permission from Seth Andrew, who, and then I'm working with Dan Cotter, who I've worked with before there. He's their grounds guy. And so I've kept in touch with him, through all the weird stuff going on over at the campus. I've just kept in touch with Dan, and he says things look fine to proceed. So.
Can you remind me? I think that the town of Marlboro maybe posted something on Front Porch Forum, just letting people in town know that this was happening.
Yeah,
You guys
I
put up
can. Yeah, I can do that again. Or I think I sent it to someone there, and they
Yes.
posted it.
So Nick, if you want to put that on your calendar for, prior to August 29th, just put something on Front Porch Forum.
I'll do a couple of weeks worth, do two leading up to it.
Sure. This is why you're seeing school buses on Sunday morning.
Exactly. And I'm on the Marlboro Facebook group, and I'll post it there as well, so folks know.
Awesome.
And there's nothing that you need from the town in terms of the road.
No, we don't. Moss Hollow is so lightly traveled, especially at that time of day. And because it's right at the start, they're all running in a big bunch, and they're all kind of through there in a couple of minutes. So we haven't really run into any trouble. we do work with the town of Halifax to close Green River Road from Moss Hollow on down, because that people get going really fast on that road, and there are all those curves. So, but in Marlboro, no, we don't really have a problem.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Really just wanted to check in and answer any questions you folks might have. And yeah, just wanted to say thank you for putting up with us for a morning. And yeah, that's it. That's really it.
And thank you for being in touch.
Sure.
Communicating.
Yeah, and thank you for considering about the parking issue too and doing the school buses. I think we're happy about that as well.
Yeah, it's yeah, we're, you know, I live here in Leiden Center. It's a small place, and yeah, it's yeah, it just doesn't have the capacity for that many people. We have about we'll probably end up having like 350 or 400 runners, so it's not a huge event anyway. So
yeah.
All right, and if you have any questions, you can always go to our website and just click the comment thing, and that email goes to me.
Great.
So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Sure. Have a good night.
Yeah, you
Take care,
too. Bye
Tom.
bye.
Bye.
Okay. Next item is the HR consultant for municipal pay scales. And I think I sent everybody an email just sort of describing that. Forrest has come to me with the concern that town employees don't have any pay steps. There's no, sort of standard wage where people start or how they get raises, and employees just come to the select board and say, we'd like a raise, or we haven't had a raise in 10 years. And the select board says, okay. So there's no system in place for that. So I'm suggesting that we at least reach out to this consultant in Brattleboro, who I know from being an employee in the town of Brattleboro. When I complained about the pay scales there, the town hired this organization, and they did us all this research and interviews, and then put together recommended pay scales and presented them to the Brattleboro Select Board, who then adopted them. So I'm proposing that for a smaller scale on Marlboro. I think we have 8 to 9 employees. And I wanted to hear what you guys thought about that.
I personally think it's great to have some sort of standardized way of going about it, because I have been privy to how things have kind of gone along since I've been on board, mostly with the road crew. And it's been kind of like, so what do we do here? Well, let's give them this much, and it hasn't really felt standardized. It's felt kind of knee-jerky in a way, kind of like yeah, and very often initiated by the employee.
Right, and that shouldn't be on them. And then there's people like Linda, who've been an employee for like 30 years, 28 years or something, and has had like 2 raises. So
yeah.
I did speak with Linda about this, because a lot of the work would fall on her in terms of gathering information for the consultants, but she said she's okay with that. I don't know.
Now she's really going to want to raise, though,
Yeah.
Tell her I can help.
It'll certainly be a cost to the town. I don't know what yet. We need to talk to the consultants, but I'm guessing a couple $1,000. I think it's worth it because our current system is not fair. It's not transparent, either to the employees or the taxpayers. So.
Well, and it can't really be counted on where if there's a standardized formula, you can sort of see into the future some, where we really can't the way we do it now. And like you said, it's not really fair right at the moment in its entirety.
Jim,
So I'm for it.
Great.
This can get really complicated, because you'd have to have you know, what your position is and, you know,
Mhm.
what's required of you to do. I mean, it's like having a personnel department, right?
Exactly.
And then do we say every year you're up for a raise? But do you need to be reviewed? You know,
What I can do is share with you what they did for Brattleboro. It is confidential, so just share it with the select board. And I think the recommendations like so what they did is they interviewed each employee about their job responsibilities, how long they've been there, how it compares to other departments, other positions. So this consultant did all of that work. Linda would just be gathering the current information for them. And then the select board, votes to approve it or not approve it or make amendments. So in the thing that they did for Brattleboro, there were steps, but they weren't necessarily every year. Sometimes they were 3 years, because then you also have COLA. So it is super complicated and no two things are the same. That's why as a select board, I'm not interested in undertaking
but
that part of
the
it.
thing is, we only have under 10 employees, and it's a lot of it's going to cost a lot to implement this. I think. I don't know. Is it costly to have this review done and all this information gathered?
It'll probably be several $1,000s. I'm
That's worth
guessing
it.
3 or
'Cause
4.
this is going to last,
Mhm.
from now on if we adopt it. So
Right.
that's not.
I'm also concerned that an employee might say, well, so and so came to you and asked for a raise and they got it, and I didn't ask and I didn't get it, and that's not fair.
No,
Then we're in a
Yeah.
tangle that's over our head.
and they do a great job, and they've been here for
Yeah.
a long time. They must like their job. They don't like their pay though.
So I would propose that we reach out to them and ask if they would be willing to work with us and what their fees are, etc. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And Nick, is that something that you think you would be able to do? I can give you all their
Sure, if you
information.
send me their info, I can, start the email conversations. And if it gets to a point where it's what's this, and this, I'll
Sure.
I'll ask you, and then if it gets to a point where it's out of my pay grade, so to speak, I'll pass them on to you.
Okay. For everybody's information, the name of the consultant is Adaptiva, and they're based in Brattleboro, and it was Jen Jacobs in specific who I was thinking of. They do have a website, but I will send you that information directly, Nick.
Okay. And if you can send me basic information, like we've got 10 employees, 1 stupid assistant and 5 road guys, and just some general things so I can start telling them what we're going to be looking at.
I'll write something up for you. All right, so we need to vote on that because we're not really committing to anything. It's just exploratory.
Yep.
So the next item is approval of payment to Linda Peters as the FEMA administrator. Linda, just so everybody knows who doesn't, is our town treasurer. And she stepped in and did all the FEMA paperwork for our 2017 event. That number is 4346. And she is just asking to be reimbursed for that. I have we should have all gotten an email from her on that, detailing her hours.
I believe I did. Yeah.
Have it here if we want to read it on Zoom. But it was 54.44 hours, and the amount is 29,179. So
29,000.
Oh, sorry, I got that mixed up with the community center. My bad.
I'll do the next one.
Yeah.
2,900.
So she's just being asked paid for the hours, which is 54.44 hours. So I will make a motion to approve payment of Linda's hours for handling the FEMA disaster in 2017.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
No.
No.
All those in favor say aye,
Aye.
Aye.
and it is approved.
As long as it's not 29,000. I
No.
love Linda, but
Yeah. So that is something to consider too when we talk about employees, is that Linda does all the FEMA stuff in addition to her job. And
Yeah.
it's like, there's no training, it's crazy bureaucratic.
We just make it part of our job. Boom.
Nora Wilson ended up doing the Irene FEMA stuff for years,
No.
but
that must have
Okay.
been a lot of work, I have to say.
yeah, yes, FEMA does not make it easy.
I'm sure.
So under old business, we have the warrant from town okaying the expenditure of the funds approval for the Marlboro Alliance invoice for $29,179. And I have the language here. On May 13th, 2021, the Marlboro Select Board approved the expenditure of $802.50 to the Marlboro Alliance, a CDBG subgrant to the town of Marlboro. This expenditure refers to requisition 22020 Marlboro 0044 for the 07110 IG 2020 Marlboro 291 grant to install an HVAC air filtration system at the Marlboro Community Center. I make a motion to approve that.
I second that. Motion, excuse me.
Had emotional emotion.
Any discussion? All
No.
those in favor say aye.
Aye. That's been ongoing for quite a while, and they need to get some bills paid, I think, right?
Jim, was that an aye?
Aye, please. Yes.
And Nick, do you have all the language from that? I pulled it up.
It was sent in an email, so do you want that in the minutes, that language in the minutes?
Yes.
Okay,
Precise.
yeah, I'll load it in there.
Thank you. All right, that's just.
I don't know if this
Yeah.
is the appropriate time, but I do have something else on old business. I probably should have, when you asked about changes to the agenda, I probably should have. I just met with Forrest and Rafe Southworth over at King Cemetery for the preliminary kind of discussion, another meeting to expand the cemetery, basically. So that was pretty productive. We marked off with tape an area that we think, the three of us think, would be appropriate size, and considering the terrain and the trees that are there and that sort of thing, for the beginning of test pits to be dug, either by Rafe or by Jim Herrick. Those are the two excavators that are interested in bidding on that. Although Rafe was the only one that showed up today. But so yeah, that's ongoing then. And I think pretty much Forrest has kind of taken the lead on that for the most part, but it was pretty productive.
Great. Thank you for going to that.
No, you're welcome.
Okay. Any other old business?
Was there anything about Peggy, or no? She had pulled back on the ordinance, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Is the cemetery, is there a specific name for it, or is there just one cemetery in town?
No, there's 4, I think, or is there
Okay,
more than
so-
that? This is King Cemetery.
King Cemetery, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Info items and mail. Just that MES graduation is happening at the muster field as long as it doesn't rain, and they have signed a use agreement.
Yeah,
So,
I saw that.
so that's that. Another info items in mail, I think, I saw it at the town office today, but I think Forrest sent us an email about the cell phone tower on Hogback. It's like this thick of legal paper, legalese. It's just really a notification.
Okay.
We don't need to do anything. Nothing drastic new is happening. So
Is it on Hogback?
it is on Hogback, yes. That's it.
All right.
It's an amazing time.
How are you How are you feeling, Nick?
Oh, I'm fine. Just
Good.
briefly, I just want to let everybody know. I mean, I'm really psyched, and anything I can do to help you guys out, like Forrest has already got me interested in going through all the old files. And I know, in the initial interview, you had talked about there was grants, and I'm up for anything. I mean, this has kind of inspired me to, I'm vaccinated, get out of the house, start walking, so I'm really excited. I know the first couple of months, there'll be a lot of questions from me on how do you do this? How do you do that? Please bear with me. And
No problem.
as I said,
I'm on my third year. I'm on my third year and I have questions about everything.
well, I think Pam's going to change her email address. I've been sending her so many emails. But I just mean I'm in for I kind of feel like I'm in for the long haul, and this would be a great job for me for the next 5 years, because if I want to go deal cards again, I can always do that at night. It's not a big deal. So
Awesome.
so I'm in, and bear with me. I'll send out the minutes if there's any way you want me to change it. I didn't phrase something right. I'll probably get that to you in the email on Saturday, because I'll do it up. I'll write it all up tomorrow, re-listen if I have to, and just want to help you guys out.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really do.
Nick, do you have a regular schedule for going into the town office, or just randomly?
I mean, I go for drives every day, and so I will go probably like Tuesday, Wednesday, just so I can see Forrest if I need to, and see Linda and her group if I need to. On pay weeks, I'll go in Monday so I can drop off my sheet. I have the mail key. I mean, if you want me to, I can kind of advise, I can send an email, say, I'm heading up there tomorrow if you want, if that would be.
Yeah, it's fine. I was just curious. I only make it in on Thursday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just curious.
Well, I'll come up Thursday morning. We can have coffee. On that one thing that you did mention, signing and then me sending it to them, the District 2 AOT.
Yes.
I have a scanner. I mean, if you want to leave the hard copy, I can grab it, scan it, and email it if you want. I mean,
Sure.
I don't know if you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Unless if you have a scanner, you can scan it and email it to me, whatever, however you want to handle it.
I do not have a scanner. There is one at the town office, but if you don't have a computer there, that's challenging. Unless you had a laptop or something, but.
So, as I said, if you just want to leave the hard copy, shoot me an email telling me it's up there. Forrest is going to run me through the alarm system. So even if I need to run up there at midnight to grab it, I can do that. And I have a scanner here. I can scan it and email it to whoever it has to get emailed to.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
See my little locker.
Anybody got anything else?
I don't.
Right, we're doing this in record time. All right, shall we adjourn the meeting at 5:46?
Sounds good.
All right,
I second that.
all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Good night. I hope I'm
Good
doing
night.
okay.
You're doing great. Doing great. Take care.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Yeah.